The memories, you can touch them. The magic month of World Cup '94, when the world came to America for this global spectacle of passion and pride. The U.S. national team captured this country's imagination with the promise of what could be. Through the many twists and manic emotions of qualification, that promise was tested. But the Yanks are coming. They will play in France. Today, they find out against whom. As players from the 32 World Cup nations gather in Marseille to offer a taste of next summer's brilliance. A true global all-star match. And then, with the whole world watching, the draw to set the groups for World Cup '98. Marseille, the second largest city in France, the oldest city in France, and today, the site of the largest sports story in the world. Representatives from all over the world are here, and billions of eyes from all over the world watching the Stade Velodrome as ESPN presents the World All-Star Match and the final draw for World Cup '98. And bienvenue, welcome to Marseille, along with Seamus Mallon. I'm Bob Lee, and after 643 World Cup qualifying matches, all deadly serious, we've got some fun today. The World Cup All-Star game, and then the deadly serious matter of the World Cup draw for France '98, and the USA will find out their three first-round opponents in a very different draw this time, Seamus.
Well, Marseille, the city that gave the Marseillaise, the French national anthem, to the revolution, has come up with something quite revolutionary this week, because FIFA has decided to seed only 8 teams by the magical math that they come up with in FIFA, and then to put the other 24 teams into 3 groups primarily based on geography, on the continents, not based on ratings of their abilities. And amazingly, the U.S. under the old system would have been a second seed. But now this time, it's a lot more open draw. In fact, it may be the most open draw in the history of the World Cup, and expectations have got to be very muted, because they could be dashed or they could be ecstatic.
A lot of tension. That is after the World All-Star match. Now, the U.S. is known since November 9th. They're in this field of 32. 9,000 miles from here. You and I were there, Seamus, to watch the USA and Canada. 5th minute, Claudio Reyna putting the U.S. in front with the only goal they needed. But minutes later in the second half, minutes after the result came through with Jamaica getting the point it had to, Wegerle's goal putting the USA through, and basically assuring Steve Sampson, though it was not official until this week, of retaining his job as U.S. national coach.
And a decision that perhaps took a little bit longer than it might have done, but the wisdom finally emerged. He got the job because he did the job. And here you see the job he and the players did. They ended up, as we all thought they would, 1 point behind Mexico, just short there of winning the group. But Jamaica, the big shocker in this group, because they edged out Costa Rica, and they will be here in France this summer.
3 nations from CONCACAF into that field of 32. There are 2 countries that have known for 4 years they'll be playing next summer here in France. That is the host nation, France, and the holders of the cup, the world champions, Brazil, with Romario and Ronaldo. And you're talking about quite the soccer offensive show.
Well, everybody wants to see the great Brazil back, the Brazil of terrific finishing and great dribbling and skill. Some criticism of Brazil in '94 that they were too defensive, but we hope that they will see the real Brazil this time around. And in addition, France. In France, they consider themselves the Brazil of Europe, and with experienced players like Didier Deschamps and newcomers Lilian Thuram, they very much want to make a terrific impression here in their home country in World Cup '98.
So let's now set for you the 32 nations who are all waiting on tenterhooks about 2 hours from now for the final draw. These are the seeded nations. And again, the math that produced these 8 nations causing some controversy. Look lower right-hand side, Romania and Holland.
Those are the 2 big controversies indeed, but on the math, they squeaked in there. They have a good pedigree in previous World Cups, and that did it for them. But it knocked out some people into the second group in Europe, in particular England, who just merely missed out on a first seed. And there was a lot of politicking, I might add, to get an African team into the first seed.
Now, the U.S. knows that it will not be playing an African team in the first round because in the pot for the draw, the U.S., Mexico, and Jamaica are in the same bin, as you will, with the African side, which could be considered good news for the red, white, and blue.
Well, it is good news at the moment because we don't know what else they will draw from the other groups, but avoiding Nigeria is certainly good, and when Cameroon is hot, they're a very difficult team to compete against.
And the final bin, the final selection of teams, the 3 unseeded South Americans to the right side of your screen, and the Asians as well. And Iran is here with that shocking draw in Melbourne last Saturday.
Well, a stunning upset there as Australia looked to be in a great position to qualify for France 98. With a 2-goal lead, they gave up 2 goals in the last 15 minutes, and Iran is here. And if Iran ends up in the United States group, that could be a rivalry, shall we say, that will have more than sporting interest.
Well, the World All-Star match, there's Eric Winalda coming out, saying hello to the States as the rest of the world, the rest du monde, begin to make their way out as the players will play before 40,000 people at Le Stade Vélodrome, the home of Olympique Marseille. 32 teams in this field means you have more powerful teams to deal with. You've got the nature of the draw change, so you are playing with dynamite here tonight when you talk about this draw.
Absolutely. And the United States, of course, does not have the home field advantage the way it had in '94. And I think it's only fair to say that this World Cup will be a more challenging one than the one was in '94 for them.
We will have occasion to speak with Steve Sampson about that, and also with Eric Winalda as we're standing by to bring you an evening of fun from Marseille, a day of fun back in the States, the World All-Star match, and then the draw for World Cup '98. We're at Le Stade Vélodrome in Marseille, this port city on the Mediterranean. The whole world is watching, so pull up a chair. A match and then the draw.
What can you do with those outdated computers? You can put them to good use and get a tax deduction, too. Donate your old computers to A10, the Assistive Technology Exchange Network. A10 recycles computers, software, and hardware from businesses and individuals to Illinois students with special needs. To find out more, call A10 at 800-476-ATEN. Put your used computers to work and help students with special needs. Call 800-476-ATEN.
For cellular phones and pagers, Mobiltel is the only place I'll go.
Here at Mobiltel, we have phones in all sizes and prices. We have pagers. And say hello to our Motorola StarTAC, our newest and smallest phone, and a complete line of cellular phone accessories.
Follow me to Mobiltel for the best selection and always the best prices. You know Mobiltel is a Cellular One sales and service center. Visit one of their 6 great locations and bring a friend.
NHL tonight, Tuesday through Saturday at 11:30, only on ESPN2.
The flags of 32 nations on display at Le Stade Vélodrome in Marseille as the players will be making their way out shortly and be introduced for this World All-Star match to be seen around the world by billions. And in the selection for the rest of the world side for the U.S., Eric Winalda as a forward tonight, but it's been as a midfielder in the critical closing matches of qualification that he has really helped the U.S. during the last month and a half.
Well, he did a great job for the U.S. going back in the midfield. But the big question is, if you can put Eric in the midfield, can you really put the midfield in Eric? I'm not so sure. I still think he is basically a goal-hungry player, and that's what the U.S. wants.
It is an opportunity for him tonight to show his wares to the world. Yesterday, before training, I asked about his reaction to being selected to this team.
It's an incredible honor, for one. I mean, just to have the opportunity to play with some of the best players in the world. Especially for me with Ronaldo and Batistuta, who are regarded as probably the 2 best forwards in the world. To have the opportunity to play with them, it's going to be fantastic.
Training yesterday out in Aix-en-Provence, about 40 kilometers outside of Marseille. Now, every World Cup has one player that will have all sorts of pressure coming upon him as you look at the World Cup. Let's look at some of the All-Stars and begin with the player under the microscope.
He may be the game's transcendent player. Ronaldo was on Brazil's roster in '94, but he didn't play in the U.S. Since then, he has blossomed at age 21 into a talent of creative strength. A star for Fiorentina in Italy, Gabriel Battistuta's relationship with his Argentine national coach has made nearly as many headlines as his offensive strikes. Dion Burton was a late addition to Jamaica's team. He responded with 4 goals as the Reggae Boys qualified on the strength of their English connection. Burton is fighting for more playing time with Derby County as his club fights for a place in Europe near the top of the Premiership. On a Mexican team replete with veterans, Marcelino Bernal is a fixture for his country. 6 goals this season in the Mexican League earned him a recall to that Mexican team under intense national scrutiny. Andreas Kopke plays today in the stadium where he makes his living with Olympique Marseille. Playing for Germany, Kopke had 4 shutouts in his 9 appearances for Bertie Vogt's side. He is a native of this city and the leading French midfield presence of the moment. Zinedine Zidane was born in Marseille with Algerian roots. The French Player of the Year in 1996. He transferred from Bordeaux to Juventus and won the Italian championship and is in the middle of this year's title chase. Paul Ince just turned 30, and his career includes every major English championship, plus a Cup Winners' Cup. He was England's first ever black captain, ironically in the memorable match won by the U.S. 4 years ago.
The players are on the pitch. On the right side, Eric Ronaldo, who has just accepted his medallion, as each player will be presented for participating. A handshake from João Havelange, the president of FIFA, and Michel Platini, the president of the French organizers. He's standing next to Dion Burton. They know each other well from qualification. The rest of the world in blue. This should be fun tonight, and if we see a slide tackle, we will send up the flare.
Yes, I think it will be a gentleman's match this evening, and it's all very gentlemanly out there. Good to see Michel Platini, who, of course, graced the midfield for France and Juventus in Italy with such great skill and left us wonderful memories of the great French team of the mid-'80s.
Basically defined the number 10 shirt for this country.
Without any question, and he is really the chief organizer, certainly the biggest football mind in the organizing around here. And actually, he's been quite outspoken. He was the one who kept pushing for an African team to be seeded, and he also wanted the groups to be attached to geography within the country, but that's not going to happen.
Well, that's several hours away. That's where the tension and the drama is, the draw. The Stars and Stripes on display on the shores of the Mediterranean in a beautiful setting. San Victoire, the white mountain that guards this city. And we will return with the World All-Star Match from Marseille live on ESPN2.
Weather outside is frightful. The fire is so delightful. There's really no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Doesn't show signs of stopping. Brought some coal from popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Fall into the gap.
Playing in the NFL means everything to me. No way I'm playing a video game without the NFL. I want the game that plays like NFL football. I want a game that has all the NFL teams. I want the game that gets me to the Super Bowl. Again! NFL Quarterback Club 98, the only officially licensed NFL game on N64. I think we have ourselves a new dynasty here. Acclaim Sports. Sweat the details.
2 season tickets to the opera, $950. Velvet wrap, $170. Opera glasses, $82. 9 guaranteed dates with your husband, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's Platinum MasterCard, with a high spending limit for the things that matter.
ESPN2's presentation of the 1998 FIFA World All-Star Game is brought to you by MasterCard. MasterCard, the official card of U.S. Soccer, Youth Soccer, and World Cup '98. Half of this crowd tonight, youngsters from the Marseille area. They are very involved in this entire ceremony. A tremendous atmosphere at Le Stade Velodrome. And there is a stage at one end on which the final draw will be held. Let's check tonight's starting lineups. Today's starting lineups. The European All-Stars. They'll be wearing white. And the European All-Stars starting lineup. As you take a look, with Kopka in goal, Pfeifenberger, Costa Curta, Hierro, Lemoine, Balikov, Paul Ince, Zidane, Boskic, Lakatos in action today. And for the rest of the world, Jacques Songo of Cameroon in goal, Hong on the back line, Ronaldo not starting. But you will have a chance to see Anthony D'Avila representing Colombia, wearing the 11 shirt in blue, representing Colombia. Originally, Carlos Valderrama had been named to the side. A lot of changes for this friendly. And there is the man. I think you'd have to equate that man, Ronaldo, with the position that Roberto Baggio was in at this point 4 years ago.
Well, and guess what? They've made him captain, Bob. Isn't that nice? Yes, he has the armband of the captain, and he will, we all hope, be, of course, the impact player for the World Cup on 98. But, you know, one of the great things about the World Cups is there always is a surprise. There's always some player that comes out of the pack. As you mentioned before, Baggio did a great job, but there have been some terrific players. Paolo Rossi among them for Italy, and who knows who will come out of the pack this time to get us excited about World Cup 98.
Europe in white, the rest of the world in blue. Georges Visser of France is our referee, and we are set to go on what should be an entertaining evening from Marseille. Number 2 is Hong of Korea. Number 3, Margas of Chile in the defense. On a chilly evening, it's been a very cold week in Marseille with a lot of anticipation. Yes, this match, but also the draw to follow. Chilean defender Margas squaring it off to Hong. Touched inside by D'Avila. Ronaldo. Back on it, Balikov of Bulgaria, number 7. Zidane of France, the number 10, and you hear the reaction. Zinedine Zidane ahead. To the right side to Lakatos inside. But out of trouble, no back on it. Goal right off the bat, Marios Lakatos of Romania.
Well, we said there'd be no tackling. I didn't think we say there'd be no defense because there wasn't very much defense right there. But Mario Lakatos getting a nice pass from one of the other team. Bad mistake there on the back. When I think Pfeifenberger tried to release the ball, you see it come into him here as he wins the ball here. But the return ball right there, the number 5 player plays it right through. That was number 5 was Nebet rather, and Mario Lakatos, the veteran Romanian, just puts it away in the corner. I've almost forgotten about Lakatos with all the great players that we saw in Romania, the Romanian team. In 94 with Dumitrescu and Hagi and Munteanu and players like that.
What a side they were, and they had high hopes. They were the first European side, Romania, to qualify. Paul Ince of Liverpool sends that ball wide. But now won by the world side, number 7, Nakata of Japan. Ronaldo at the halfway line. He has Salimi making a run, tries the through ball, but cut off by Hierro of Spain, number 5. A very brief and not too taxing training schedule yesterday for these sides. As Boskic, number 11, was on that ball. Zidane with the ball to the right side. In fact, these two teams actually scrimmaged essentially each other at Aix-en-Provence, about 40 miles away. That's Heimo Pfeifenberger of Austria and Zidane of France. Number 14, South African David Nyathi. And what a statement it is for South Africa to be in this World Cup final. Just 5 years back into world soccer competition. Perdal gets a touch from Mexico. Nebat of Morocco back to the keeper. Jacques Songo of Cameroon, who plays professionally in Spain. Margas, who plays for the Catholic University side in Chile. Hong. as the world team taking its time. The substitutions that will be made in this match, we expect, will be made solely at halftime. Bernal playing it wide. Hong on an overlap. Now Europe back on it. Zidane eludes what was an attempted tackle. Coming inside for Pfeifenberger.
Well, Zidane with some good runs there, Bob. He has the number 10 shirt you talked about that Platini used to have.
Nayati had trouble with it. Lakatos back on it. Pfeifenberger from Austria. Balikov from Bulgaria. It was taken out of the air there by Margus. And on it now is Batistuta with Ronaldo to his left, the Avila to his right. How'd you like to be the keeper looking at this coming at you? Batistuta, little tough touch there, and Europe is back on it in the person of Paul Ince.
Look at
Zidane, we're going end to end. As we said, if we see a tackle, we'll let you know. Patrick Kluivert, number 9, Balikov, Boskic, number 11, and Croatia now Ince with it. This is the fun part of these festivities, the deadly serious part, the draw to follow. And, of course, all 64 matches of World Cup 98 will be live on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. Ronaldo! Onto the stage for the presentation later.
Well, Ronaldo combining there, getting a nice pass in from Batistuta. And look at him just accelerate away from people, finding the space in which he can release the shot, but the ball came up off the ground just as he swung on it. And that means, of course, he skies it into the, as you said, into the stage area.
Dominique Lemoine, number 6, left-sided player. Now Alessandro Costa-Curta, longtime player for the Azzurri. Lemoine from Belgium, plays professionally in Spain, tries the through ball cut off there by Margus.
Now, it would be fair to point out, Bob, here that the Europeans, you might say, have something of an advantage here. They do see each other a lot around Europe, whereas the other team, the rest of the world, really is a combination of various styles. And even though some of them do play in Europe, they don't see each other as much.
Boskic on that touch from Zidane, Alan Boskic. And Margus wins that ball.
Wow, Boskic almost hit the deck there.
Nayati of South Africa. Yes, we almost had a foul. The skills are on display. The intensity offensively, certainly. The Avila, Metro Stars, inside for Ronaldo, cut off by the defense.
Boy, lots of commitment to attack by both of these teams.
That's being diplomatic.
Players streaming forward. Midfield defense, purely imaginative experience.
Boksic, touch there by Kluivert. Sungo puts his foot to it. Nice punch by his defender. And back by Lemoine with a touch. The European side in white, the rest of the world in blue. And the world is watching this match along with you back in the United States. This is galvanizing. This match is the prelude. It is the appetizer. The main course coming is the draw. Salimi, as Ronaldo puts it wide now. Diavila, Anthony Diavila with a cross brought down and a corner kick. Reminder, the MLS All-Star Weekend coming up next July and August from Orlando. After the World Cup, the stars of MLS, you'll have complete coverage on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. We'll mark that down for next summer. Pulled down by Andreas Kappmann.
No surprise, a rousing cheer from the Olympique de Marseille fans. Of course, he plays here.
The German national keeper plays in France. If you're new to the sport of soccer, you cross national lines to make your living at the drop of a hat internationally. Lakatos on the throw-in. There is Balikov, who plays for Stuttgart. Boksic tries to turn that ball against Margus. Balikov taken down just outside the area. We play on, says Monsieur Visser.
No, Visser says not a foul. Looked like a foul, though.
Boksic with the cross, looking for Kluivert, but Margus got his head to it. Balikov back on it now, the number 7. Wide of Jacques Sango.
Well, Balikov, there you see the picture, as you mentioned, played for Stuttgart, and in fact had 2 terrific goals for Stuttgart last weekend to pull them back in the match. They were losing 2-0. And there you see his shot over the top, but he made a huge impression in the midfield for Bulgaria when they were such a great show in USA 94.
He's representing Bulgaria, not Hristo Stoichkov in this match, but the Bulgarians won their group, won it easily, and consigned Russia to a playoff from which they did not survive against Italy. Nakata to Bernal. The Mexican representative for this team, of course, Mexican coach Bor Milutinovic, relieved of his duties. He is in town, and you never know. You almost do know with Bor. He will certainly find another prestigious position. Lakatus against Naethi, and the South African wins the challenge. Abdel Salimi, number 8 of Tunisia, inside for Batistuta for Ronaldo in the box. Ronaldo over the top.
But there again, you see the great skill of Ronaldo, not in the finishing so much, but in his elusiveness and his ability to find the space. Look at him get in between two players here, turn and let the ball roll, perhaps a bit too wide as it spins into your living room.
Live action now, Diavola. Run on for the shot, whistling wide by Bernal. Marcelino Bernal playing with Monterrey. Scored a goal in the World Cup final in the States back in '94.
And here primarily because they had to make the decision early as to who would come from Mexico, and the playoffs on down there. They couldn't release some of the perhaps more well-known stars.
Hong chasing defensively against Buksic, who wins the ball. Alan Buksic, who played at one time here at Marseille. Balakov from Bulgaria, the number 7. There's Loin from Belgium, number 6.
Well, we talked about the lack of tackling, Bob, but on the other hand, these are professional defenders, and they don't want to embarrass themselves either. They're going to try to tighten down, close down in players a little bit. You saw Naethi, the player from South Africa, doing a good job at that. And as I said, it's not just all about offensive fireworks here. They want to be embarrassed.
Ronaldo has some room. Batistuta, Gabriel Batistuta, trying to win his way back into the first team of Argentina, if you can believe that. David Naethi of South Africa had Salini making a run. You see there Diavola dispossessed, and we've had a foul call.
Yeah, obstruction foul on on Zidane.
Now on the restart, Batistuta to Naethi, the South African in the box, scoring enough, looking for Ronaldo, and who wouldn't, but there's Balakov. And now Alan Buksic with Croatia, his second tour of duty with that Italian side. One from behind by Javier Margas of Chile, but Europe is back on it.
Nice interception there. Beautiful step up by Javier Margas from Chile. We look at Hierro. Hierro, what a great player for Real Madrid in Spain. Can't wait to see him in the World Cup.
Pitched by Naethi, but on it now is Pfeifenberger from Austria. Pfeifenberger for the cross to the far post, looking for Balakov, put out there by Nakata. Back on it, the European side, Balakov with the left foot. Again, it's Margas to put it out. And now Diavola, Anthony Diavola. Ronaldo on the left side. He has Salini behind him, but Ronaldo not looking for him, and put out by Paul Ince.
Yeah, Paul Ince is not about to give up an opportunity to get a slide in here. It was a more benign Ince slide, but it did the job.
All the pressure on this young man, who was on the Brazilian side in 1994, but did not play, has a winner's medal, and was recently transferred for $26 million. Salemi of Tunisia, but Ince wins the ball, and Pfeifenberger and Ince, a little one-touch. We have got 3.5 hours of coverage live from Marseille on the Deuce today. And the U.S. at the end of this will find out where and whom they will play. Most importantly, whom in the first round of World Cup '98. Zidane. Kluivert sends it wide.
It's pretty good passing here, good control. Not a lot of physical challenges, as we mentioned. There's one.
Buksic turns, was fouled by Noureddin Nebet of Morocco. So a free kick now for Europe. Nebet, who plays in Spain for Deportiva La Coruña, and he and the keeper, Jacques Songo, are professional club teammates.
Well, I wonder what the discussion was like in the dressing room about who takes free kicks in the All-Stars, but it looks like Balakov is going to line this one up. Or it could be Hierro.
Fernando Hierro to the left of the ball, Lakakush to the right side, Balakov. Hierro, saved by Songo, and he could not save the corner. And the corner kick now for Europe. Right to the post, and Hierro with a bending ball. On the corner, Lacatus playing it wide. Patrick Kluivert, number 9, looking for a touch down at the edge of the box. And Diavola on it now for the world team. And all things seem to flow amazingly through the captain Ronaldo in these moments. Diavola looking to return to Ronaldo. Communication would be interesting. You heard Sango perhaps speaking in French. His language is a Cameroonian, but all sorts of tongues on the pitch tonight. Offside on the Balakov lead for Alan Buksic.
Communication is the big thing, and of course most of these players can communicate through their knowledge of the game, but you did see Diavola trying to play Ronaldo through when perhaps a better ball would have been to play it wide and then get it into Ronaldo. Got a little bit, you got to make it not quite so obvious you're going to go through him all the time.
Live at Le Stade Velodrome in Marseille, France, along with Seamus Mellon, I'm Bob Lee, the World All-Star match. Ronaldo, right, tough rebound for Kopke off the pitch. And to follow this match, the final draw for World Cup '98. The tirage au sort, as they say in France. And the U.S. will find out its opponents. Hong now from Korea. Batistuta with a touch. Paul Ince fighting for that ball, winning that ball.
Ince doesn't go through these matches calmly. You can't subdue the natural fighting spirit of Paul Ince. Such an important part of England and any club team he plays for.
Currently Liverpool, and the English certainly have really impressed in qualifying. You saw that final qualifier, the playoff, and actually the final qualifier against Italia on ESPN2. This is an England with some subtlety and some touch to its game. Now, Postecoglou, who's had a quiet match, number 4 with a touch. The Italians finalists in '94, losing on penalty kicks to the Brazilians.
Bob, we were told that there would not be any substitutions made until halftime, so that fans can see a good 45 minutes of these teams, unless, of course, there's an injury, which I think was highly unlikely in this match.
Well, Postecoglou now looking to off Zidane's chest, cleared by Margas. 1 goal so far by Lacatus of Romania. Ronaldo controls that ball. Batistuta ahead of him. Diavola to his right. Diavola through ball onside. Diavola! And a goal for the Colombian from Major League Soccer.
And the man who replaced the irreplaceable Valderrama gets an assist from Ronaldo. And you saw another player up front. That was Batistuta, who was walking away to stay onside, and Diavola keeps very calm and slots it over the ankles of Koepka as he came out. A little toe poke through there, but Diavola runs through nicely, keeps his eye on the ball, watching the keeper now to see where he might go, and then there's just a little flick over his legs as the keeper committed. Koepka went down, and Diavola found the corner nicely. 1-1.
The opposing angle. Diavola Pitufo, his nickname, and so it is 1-1. In a game that figured to have some offense, and yes, we have seen it. Again, Ronaldo, this time watched by his opposite number, Zidane of France. Diavola back to Ronaldo, looking for Batistuta. No one making a run down that right side. Batistuta holding up.
You see a lot of European defenders back there with their arms up in the air claiming offside. Even if it's a friendly, that's seems like a European instinct.
Long ball by Balakov. Sango comes out to get it. The Cameroonian releasing down the left side. And Pfeifenberger back on the ball. That's Salemi with a touch. South Africa, of course. Nayethi's team waiting to see what their draw will be. The emotion of that nation qualifying. One of the stories we'll be telling you about a little bit later on. We'll be talking with Steve Sampson, also talking some more with Eric Winalda, and getting their perspective on the job at hand in France '98. It will be difficult. Ronaldo, Diavola to the right side now. Nakata, and there's Koepka to put it wide with Batistuta in front.
What a nice angled ball played out there by Ronaldo for Nakata to run onto. Here, see the end of it. And he tries to serve when it is deflected and almost played right into the stride of Batistuta. They'd hope to get a corner out of that, but the referee says no, it's a goal kick.
1-1.
He got that one wrong.
Now 1-1 is our score in the first half. From the Stade Velodrome in Marseille, Heimo Pfeifenberger of Austria. Offside flag is up. Boksic was ahead of the play.
Yep, and a classic Boksic run. Alan Boksic loves to cut from the center diagonally to the corners and pick up the spaces behind defenses.
Dirk Kaiser, Franz Beckenbauer coaching the European side. Winner of the World Cup as a player in 74 and a winner as a coach in 90, twice a champion.
And the days go by. Franz thinning and graying, as you see.
Break for the world side. Batistuta save. Kupka covers up the rebound.
Well, finally get to see Batistuta let go with one of his typical venomous shots, but Kupka down very nicely to smother it.
Now Balakov puts it wide. Pfeifenberger with a touch. Here comes the European side. Mariusz Lakatus of Romania. Inch wide. Rather Kluivert, number 9 player. Patrick Kluivert of Ajax.
That's the first time we've seen Patrick Kluivert make a central run. Here you see the shot again by Batistuta. Difficult ball as it hit the ground just where the keeper was, so you have to smother it and get the rebound. But Andreas Kupka is terrific goalkeeper for Germany, as is this man at the other end, Songo, for Cameroon.
I mentioned Kluivert's club side. Of course, he is with AC Milan. 12 shots in 20 minutes so far, we are informed. 7 for the world, 5 for the European side. Lakatus lifts that ball. Zidane is on it. The French would love to see their man score. Boksic from Croatia. Edge of the box, dispossessed by Naeti. It's a clinic. It's fun.
Well, you know, you do that in the game, you get 10 of your teammates screaming at you, you should have passed. And in this kind of a game, they all say, well, maybe I'll try that next time.
Well, when you see Boksic here, and you also see on the bench a Yugoslavian player, you realize so many new nations available for this World Cup as Songo comes out. And, of course, Boksic will play into the Croatian colors. Slovenia, a separate nation, of course. There still is a Yugoslavia. The world geography has changed so much over the years. Ronaldo behind Batistuta. Zidane plays it wide. Mariusz Lakatus. Now Balakov from Bulgaria. And Pfeifenberger from Austria.
Certainly impressive to see the European players support each other nicely, making some runs, because this is a game where you're not really going to make an awful lot of off-the-ball runs, but you do want to help out your teammates a bit, of course, too, even though there's a lot of individual skill available.
Bernal touched that ball away, and now Batistuta, Diavola, Ronaldo. Look at that one-touch passing. Ronaldo in the box, and a goal! How many times shall we see that next summer? Under very different circumstances.
Well,
but Ronaldo has put one in.
And the great skill of Ronaldo, not just in finishing this time, but the great fake he makes inside. You know, watch the little swivel he makes inside to set up the defender. There's the fake inside. Now he's got a little bit of room on the outside to make the shot. And he buries it exactly where they tell you in the clinic, at the far post. But the little inside fake was what froze the defender for just a minute, who's Hierro, who's no stiff as a defender, but he went for it, and Kupka could not protect the far post. Yep, terrific finish.
2-1, the world team leading Europe. Balakov now with his cross. And now back on a Diavola. With Ronaldo making a run, but Batistuta dispossessed there. Hierro of Spain with an offside ball, clearly offside. Worldwide Soccer, 10 a.m. Eastern this Saturday on ESPN2. Join Rob Stone. Rob's with us here in Marseille. He'll be helping us out with our coverage of the draw. Rob will have a wrap-up of everything happening here in Marseille. All the other World Soccer news, Worldwide Soccer on ESPN2 on Saturday. Everyone is here who is anyone in soccer at the draw. The World Cup itself is spread out throughout France, and we'll talk more about that at halftime. But the draw is one attraction in one place. And it brings out the luminaries and the unemployed coaches and journalists from all over the world.
And perhaps the soon-to-be unemployed coaches.
That's just true, too. Hong from Korea playing it wide, and now into the side netting, a Nakata shot. Hitachi Nakata, the number 7 player who plays with Haratsuka in the J League.
That wasn't a bad idea by Nakata. I think he saw Koepka off the line a little bit, maybe cheating away from the near post, and he thought maybe he could skim one in there.
We've had goals from Lakatos, Diavola, and Ronaldo, and a 2-1 world lead over Europe. Now Balakov. Lakatos to the right side. Magas of Chile couldn't clear it, though. Boksic is on it, number 11. Kluivert from Milan, losing the ball. Diavola, who has that goal. Little subtle touches in the midfield you couldn't get away with in a league match.
And Diavola, though, getting a lot of the ball because he's taking up a nice sort of release position for the counterattacks.
Into Boksic. Boksic back on the ball. The through ball. And put out by Naibet of Morocco. Sent right back into the far post by Lakatushin. Volleyed high and out.
Well, Zidane thought he would put one in for the crowd there, and instead he put one into the crowd. Not able to get over the top of this. But if that had gone in, you would have heard a roar in this stadium like we haven't heard so far tonight.
We said half of this crowd children. There were no tickets to this match. It is an invited crowd of approximately 40,000. And the French with very definite ideas of how they wanted to distinguish this World Cup draw, and they thought to do it in a stadium. Here, Le Stade Velodrome would be the perfect way to do it. It's a chilly night. It's warmer tonight than it's been for the last 2 days in Marseille. And the crowd is here to see the world's best and then the drama of the draw. Behind Bernal, Balakov's on the ball. Lakatos back for Ince over the top.
What a nice drop for Ince by Lakatos there. And Paul Ince thinks he perhaps should have kept that one down a little bit. But look at this little back flick by Lakatos. Knowing Ince was there. Tries to pick his spot and instead gets under it. Also, Marseille, Bob, is really a terrific soccer city. I mean, it has a great tradition. And you can just, the crowd is probably one of the best soccer crowds, if not the best.
Kluivert for Boksic in the box and put wide by Niapi. And Marseille, as a football town, a soccer town, trying to get back on the beam with the scandal of Olympique Marseille, which saw its owner, Barnett P, go to jail for financial problems and also fixed matches. At the turn of the decade, this was the football capital of Europe, Marseille. Enter Kluivert. Zidane, the captain of this European side. Balakov with the corner. Header just over the top.
Oh, that was Pfeifenberger. Wow. Terrific header by him. Of course, he is a defender now for Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga, but used to be an attacker. And you can see some pretty good attacking skills here with that flashing header that just skimmed off the top of the crossbar.
When he was a forward, he one time led the Austrian First Division in scoring. So, no lumbering defender he.
No.
Not that there are lumbering defenders in this match tonight.
Well, if you can get a forward to go back and play defense at the end of his career, if he's the right disposition, it can be a terrific move because they know all the forwards' instincts and tendencies, and they know how to defend them.
Balakov's ball over the byline. The atmosphere, the sounds of an evening in Marseille, France, with 32 countries around the world waiting to see. 17 shots on goal in this match. Carlos Alberto Pereira coaching the world all-star team. The coach of the New Jersey, New York Metro Stars of Major League Soccer, in serious conversations here in Marseille with the Saudi Federation about possibly taking the Saudis to World Cup '98 as the national coach. A lot of intrigue, a lot of jobs being shopped. And a foul whistle as Ronaldo was taken down. Costa Curta with the call.
Well, we may see that battle this summer. Costa Curta on Ronaldo. It would be a repeat of the World Cup final, of course, although Ronaldo, as you said, didn't play. He was on the bench.
At age 17, now at age 21, he is the world's best-known, most anticipated player with that push. Whistled. Zidane for Patrick Kluivert. Krasimir Balikov taken off by Salimi. And now back on it, Balikov. Zidane. Kluivert, but the ball skitters to Pfeifenberger on the right side. Tackled there by Nayaphi. David Nayaphi plays professionally in Switzerland.
Yeah, for St. Gallen, but that's a good kind of risky tackle in a way, but got away with it.
Balikov put out there by Hahn, the number 2 player. The Belgian Lemoine, number 6, has that ball for the throw-in.
Risky to him, I mean, because in that kind of tackle you can get an injury sliding in with the wrong foot, as it were. But as we mentioned, this is not exactly a cup tie atmosphere here.
Long ball. Zidane. Looks for Boksic. There's Kluivert in the box. Yet to see a real serious attempt at the tackle. Lakatos with the cross. Nayaphi is there. Lakatos back on it. Pfeifenberger with a cross and put out. Some anxious moments, if you can have such in this match, in the box. And now Batistuta for Ronaldo. The captain with his fluorescent armband has 1 goal. Batistuta, goal! Bati goal! 3-1.
What an exhibition for Andreas Kepka. It's not often he picks the ball out of the net 3 times in half an hour, but he's had to do it against this incredible finishing skill of Ronaldo and Batistuta. Not even a touch. Not a touch to set it up. Just a first-time, confident, inspired blast into the corner.
We promised you a fun match, and we've had 4 goals so far here in this first half.
Well, what did I say, 5-4 or 6-5 maybe?
You may have taken the under, as they say, in the parlors of London. Balikov now chasing along with Nabit. Balikov is fouled, and so now the free kick for Europe. Noureddin Nebat, 28-year-old Moroccan defender.
Very good player, good degree of technical skill.
Ronaldo with a goal and 2 assists so far as Jacques Sango sets the 2-person wall. Balikov's free kick, headed up but not out. And now on it, Boksic, number 11. Bernal chasing, but Lemoine sends it to the corner. Alan Boksic of Croatia, watched by Margas of Chile. Sango pulls it down at his 6.
Boy, it's amazing to look into the penalty area, Bob, and see 8 players from the opponents on attack.
It's fun, though, and that's what this match is supposed to be. Ronaldo. Too much pace on that lead for Batistuta. Costa Curta back defensively as well.
Yeah, he released the ball when the territory had shrunk for that hard a pass. There simply wasn't enough room left between him and the goalkeeper, and it became easy for Kepka.
Marcelino Bernal, number 6 from Mexico. Number 3, Javier Margas from Chile.
Every now and again, you need to have a game like this,
yes,
just to restore your.
Remind yourself what this game can be.
Yes, and when it's not so punitively competitive
or cutthroat.
Yeah.
The money at stake now is astounding, as we said. Ronaldo, the man on the ball, transferred for $28 million last summer. There's Pfeifenberger, plays with Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga, squaring it off to Balikov, also in the Bundesliga with Stuttgart. Headed back by Nabet. Patrick Kluivert chasing. And now the world team with a break. Adel Salimi of Tunisia. Diavola. Anthony Diavola. Costa Curta with a nice play. We said at halftime we'll speak with Steve Sampson about his formal appointment to the job. Get some reaction from Eric Ronaldo, too, on the delay in the official announcement for Sampson's hiring. Kluivert put away by Bernal, and a whistle as Bernal commits the foul on Patrick Kluivert. On the restart, Zidane, Boksic. the defense was there. Buksic again now, looking to tee it up. And the offside flag was up.
Well, the defense was there in the form of Nebet, who frustrated this man, Zidane. And Nebet, one of the players that's really popped up to me to be an interesting guy. Hope we'll see a little bit more of him. Maybe with some different players around it, but he is the Moroccan player you mentioned earlier with Deportivo La Coruña in Spain.
Pfeifenberger as Ronaldo. Precision on passes not necessarily tonight. Diavola with a touch for Batistuta. Anthony Diavola with a back heel attempt for Gabriel. Oh,
but well
good
read
stuff
by Hierro. Hierro saw that coming.
Christmas is coming a little bit early in December. If you're a soccer fan tonight, just to sit back and take the wraps off this game as evening descends on Marseille and the United States, of course. If you sit back at midday. Ronaldo. Batistuta. Ronaldo again, and now Hierro, and combining to get that ball back into the attack now for Europe. Krasimir Balakov to the left side this time now. Has Zidane with him. Will he use him? Well, there's Pfeifenberger. Lakatus. A 1 goal for the European side. Kluivert back to Paul Ince. Got a little bit quiet right now with Europe looking to build something. Dominique Lemay able to save that. Watched by Hong of Korea. Buksic into the box against Bernal. Alan Buksic to the byline. Still in play. Look at that. And finally Bernal and the whistle for obstruction, and so an indirect free kick.
Well, I think Marcelino Bernal has a case here. He did a good job battling Buksic, won the ball away from him, got hit, won it again. And Marcelino Bernal is a great fighter for Mexico. Times he goes over the top a little bit, but I don't think he did it that time.
Balakov on the indirect free kick. Really not a factor from that angle as Nayeti puts it out. Lakatus watched by Nayeti. Shot there by Patrick Kluivert of AC Milan. 3-1, 4 goals in his first half. The world squad leading Europe.
Patrick Kluivert there with his first really good shot on goal. He's a big question for Holland this year. Holland always a little bit of a mystery as to whether the real team will show up, and he's an important part of that puzzle.
Costa Curta gets his head to it. Diavola. Now Romario. With Salemi to his left. What will Romario do? With a goal and 2 assists so far. Gets it back from Batistuta. A through ball, Batistuta. Onside of the goal. I don't know if this performance will get him back into Daniel Passarella's lineup, but it's certainly thrilling a world audience tonight.
Well, look at Bernal's congratulate Ronaldo as they know who made this goal. There's the ball put through. He very definitely is onside when the ball is released to him. And Koepka, with no chance, has got to reach back into the net, fish it out for the 4th time. But a little scoop pass over the top, the 1 touch, and then the cracking half volley. Just too powerful for Koepka to do anything with. But lovely skill by Ronaldo. 4-1.
He has a goal and 3 assists, so everything is flowing through him. Luis Nazario de Lima, at the age of 21. The soccer world, the sporting world, is his oyster right now.
Well,
4-1.
If he's going to play only a half.
I hope not. I hope he's here for the 90.
3 assists and a goal is pretty good work for 40 minutes so far.
Paul Ince with that ball. Now the through ball for Buksic. In the box save. Zongo comes out. It's behind him. But Margas is there to clean it up. And where do they look? Immediately to Ronaldo. But Fernando Hierro of Spain nearly overrun. And Ronaldo takes it away. He has Salemi to his left. There is Ronaldo, who is making this game his own. Leaves it for Diavola. Did not quite expect that. Diavola. Not a good shot to the right of Andreas Koepka. The draw follows. right after the match, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. That is where the tension and the drama shall be, as this crowd and a worldwide television audience, and most importantly, 32 national teams and their coaches, will find out who plays whom and where, and the U.S. will learn its first 3 opponents.
Well, for a coach who's down by 3 goals, Beckenbauer didn't look too unhappy, and you could see way in the background in that picture of the bench, Michel Hidalgo, of course, the legendary former coach of France, great man in French soccer.
Ball for Lakatu. Songo is out, and a corner kick.
Well, typical friendly international challenge, that one between Songo and Lakatouche. You know, in a real game, they would have gone out that ball hell for leather.
Lakatouche now on the corner. Songo pulls it down just off his line. 4-1. 2 goals by Batistuta. Ronaldo with a goal. Diavola with a goal. Lakatouche the 1 goal for Europe. Ronaldo with a ball again, looking for Diavola. And Balikov comes back for it. And boy, do the Bulgarians entertain us in '94 in the United States. All the way to the semifinal. Balikov for Boksic now, the Croatian, with Kluivert in the box, along with Zidane, but cut off by Myungbo Han of Korea.
Well, Ince was making the run there. A good central run by Ince, and Boksic's pass was uncharacteristically inaccurate.
Ronaldo again. Will he shoot this time rather than just create, dispossessed? But there's Salimi. Salimi off the post. Well, it is a friendly, and it's aptly named.
He goes near post here. And Kupka's got the near post pretty well marked, but there's a defender in his way to go to the far post, so perhaps he took the low percentage there.
They just played each other last weekend, Salimi and Kupka, in the French First Division. Salimi plays in Nantes, one of the World Cup cities. A match won by Nantes as they're trying to stay out of the drop zone, the relegation zone, in the French First Division. The draw to follow this match, and the light atmosphere will turn deadly serious when the balls are drawn out of the bins for the 8 seeds, and then Russian roulette. Diavola for Batistuta. Salini coming down the middle. Romario trails the play. Diavola on it. Romario to his left. Diavola with that shot. Pulled in by Kupka. Pace is slow just a little bit. It's never been frenetic, but it has been creative.
Well, these players, of course, all have important matches coming up for their clubs this weekend. And it is a Thursday night, so they're going to not run themselves into the ground. Certainly, there's virtually no retreating defensive runs out of midfield by anybody. It's sort of attack and counterattack.
Boksic inside. Kluivert, what to do? Zidane off his foot. Ong has it. And finally cleaned out of the World All-Star end. Now a break for the world side. Batistuta. The keeper is out. Ronaldo heads it ahead. The goal is empty. But not the score sheet. Ronaldo.
All right. I think what we're hearing now is the crowd saying, take him off and bring on Ronaldo. At this point, we've seen enough of this. The Europeans are not amused. The rest of the world crowd having a lovely night. But look at this. Kupka comes out, but he's not going to hurl himself at this. He dives right by it.
Not tonight, not in this match.
No way. No way. And Ronaldo sticks his head in and then, of course, finishes it. A little head touch away, but interesting piece of acrobatics by Kupka there. Adding a little comedy to this, but it's not too funny to be down 5-1.
Ronaldo with the goal. He has 2 and 3 assists. Paul Ince with that ball. European side now wanting to get something going. They scored first, and it's been all-world team, principally that man on the ball since then. 3 assists, 2 goals for Ronaldo. There's Anthony Diavola of the Metro Stars of Major League Soccer. Takes a push, but we play on. Zinedine Zidane of France Pfeifenberger, but Bernal plays it back to his keeper, Jacques Songo of Cameroon.
Well, players to come off the bench in the second half for Europe to give them some help are Gordon Dury from Scotland and Slavis Jokanovic.
And we will see those substitutions. We talked about an offensive game, but we talked about the pressure on this man at the top of the show and the expectations for next summer, and he's just given you the beginning of a taste of what he can bring to a game.
Well, sure, it's not a competitive game, but you can just see the class that oozes out of Ronaldo, and the wonderful thing, too, about the combination abilities of Latin American players, even if they haven't seen each other, even if they're unfamiliar. And this man has got to do some serious thinking if he wants to have some kind of a comeback in the second half.
Lakatos of Romania scoring for Europe, and then Diavola, Ronaldo, Batistuta, and Ronaldo, and all three non-Ronaldo goals, if you will, assisted by the Brazilian superstar. Much to come at halftime. We'll talk with Steve Sampson, so don't go away.
Playing in the NFL means everything to me. No way I'm playing a video game without the NFL. I want the game that plays like NFL football. I want a game that has all the NFL teams. I want the game that gets me to the Super Bowl. Again! NFL Quarterback Club 98, the only officially licensed NFL game on N64. I think we have ourselves a new dynasty here. Acclaimed Sports. Sweat the details.
Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, yeah, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Wow. Fall into the gap, yeah.
2 season tickets to the opera, $950. Velvet wrap, $170. Opera glasses, $82. 9 guaranteed dates with your husband, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's Platinum MasterCard, with a high spending limit for the things that matter.
It takes a little longer to pour a beer as good as Sam Adams. Sam Adams, a better glass of beer.
Okay. The Stade Velodrome in Marseille, France, where we have had a rip-roaring first half. Batistuta scoring 2 goals, and Ronaldo just assisting on 3 and scoring 2 of his own. It's a 5-1 match. Welcome back along with Seamus Mallon. I'm Bob Lee. The big story in U.S. soccer yesterday, the official announcement. Steve Sampson will remain as the U.S. national team head coach. I talked to Steve yesterday asking about his reaction to the long delay in announcing this.
I had hoped that after the Canada match that maybe a decision would have been made then. I was a little surprised that it did take a little bit longer than what I expected, but this is soccer, and these are things that happen with national team coaches all over the world. Bottom line is this team was good enough to qualify, and we showed that we were good enough, and we did it. And, you know, if they wanted to send a message to the coach and to the players, that's fine. They have the prerogative to do that. And, you know, I think everyone needs to understand that this is a very big event, that no one has a position that's solid on the national team, and that includes the coach.
I think for us as players, we tried not to concentrate on that side of it because we knew that it was more important for us to play well and to qualify. But I think deep down a few of us really felt for him because I think he's doing a great job, and it's unfortunate to see him get criticism and not get the backing that maybe he deserved.
Alan Rothenberg, the president of the U.S. Federation, said that he did not interview any other coaches, did not consider any other coaches. But the clinching was November 9th in Vancouver, then the final match with El Salvador, and then yesterday the official announcement that Sampson will bring the USA to France.
Well, I've expressed my impatience before about this no-brainer of a decision taking so long, but I must say, you know, we're good admirers of Steve, and the one thing that I think has to be said also is that he is a terrific ambassador for soccer in America and for America. And this is a guy who speaks fluent Spanish. He goes overseas. He may not have all the international experience that, say, Bora or some others have done, but he's respected by the players. He's done a good job, and in many ways, the tough part of the World Cup is qualifying. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get in the draw, and so it's not so much the World Cup, it's really how you get there and what kind of class you show when you're there.
Well, they're in the field, and I asked Steve Sampson if qualifying for the second round next year in 1998 would be more impressive than 94, given the fact there are no wild cards, so the U.S. will be on the road.
It is going to be much more difficult to get to the second round than in 1994. You know, 16 teams qualified into the second round out of 24. Now 16 will qualify out of 32, and that's much more difficult. But for me, it's very important to get to that second round and play well, and the way that we get there is as important as getting there.
I still think we're going to get England. You know, most of the guys on the team, we've joked about it, who we want and who we don't want, but I really have sat down and looked at it, but then I realized it was a waste of time because anything can happen in the draw.
And the draw's coming up after the match, and we should reiterate, the draw is different, and also on the road, no wild cards. It would be very tough. It would be very impressive if they get it, but the second round is no given. If you're an American soccer fan, you say, well, the U.S. did it last time. It may not happen this time.
Well, the important thing for me is how far we've come in 8 years. I mean, look back to 1990 and how naive we were in that World Cup, and the players now talking about opponents and so forth in a much more realistic manner, and everybody has just grown tremendously, has matured in the world game, and that will help in 98.
We will find out after this match with the World Cup draw, the U.S. opponents in the first round. That is Notre Dame de la Garde looking down over Marseille, a beautiful church, and we will look at the beautiful highlights.
Welcome to La Campana.
What can you do with those outdated computers? You can put them to good use and get a tax deduction, too. Donate your old computers to A10, the Assistive Technology Exchange Network. A10 recycles computers, software, and hardware from businesses and individuals to Illinois students with special needs. To find out more, call A10 at 800-476-ATEN. Put your used computers to work and help students with special needs. Call 800-476-ATEN.
Place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. There's a short time to stop it, and I brought some coal for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Fall into the gas.
I'm the future of American soccer.
It's up to me in 2002.
It's up to me in 2006.
It's up to me. I don't want to make a strong showing at the World Cup.
I want to bring it home. I'll dominate like Cantona. I'll shake defenders like Ronaldo.
I'll mark like Maldini. Along the way, I'll invent the American style play. I'm the future of American soccer.
Next summer, France, the site of the World Cup at Parc des Princes in Paris, and nearby in the suburbs of Saint-Denis, the new Stade de France will be a venue as well. Up north, the city of Lens, the smallest city to ever host a World Cup. In fact, the stadium is larger than the city, if you can believe it. Then Lyon will also be a venue, once the capital of Gaul, when the Romans ruled France way back when. The industrial city of Saint-Etienne nearby, also one of the World Cup venues. Then down here on the Riviera, Marseille, the city of mystery, over 400 miles from Paris, a major venue. We'll have a semifinal. Montpellier will be host to some matches. Carlos Valderrama played professionally there for some time of his career. Toulouse, near the Pyrenees Mountains, the fourth largest city in France, another one of the French venues. When you think of wine, you think of the city of Bordeaux, also a venue. L'Escure Stadium dates from the 1938 World Cup. And Nantes in Brittany, about 250 miles west of Paris, will be another site. And so this will be a very different World Cup than '94 when you were flying, taking jet planes over 3 time zones. That shan't be the case here. That's right. That's a huge advantage for fans, and it also means that the teams will not be put in one city. They will move around and play different games in different cities throughout the first round. We have had 6 goals in this game as a prelude to the draw for World Cup '98. Ronaldo has been scintillating. We will take a look at all the highlights, including the empty netter. He has owned this match.
Uh-oh, tangled rope, sticky tape, and more is wrapping that big box becoming a big chore? Then you need the Euro Wrapper, the fastest, easiest way to wrap any size bundle. No more messy cords. Look, Euro Wrapper actually wraps and ties all at the same time. It does all the work for you. No more wraps that aren't long enough. The Euro Wrapper's revolutionary cord extends up to 50 feet. Big or small, it bundles them all. And unlike twist ties, the Euro Wrapper's sturdy locking clip won't rip or spill. Watch, it's so strong, it can actually tow the entire weight of this car without tearing. Amazing! Euro Wrap cables, wires, and cords for a neat appearance. Recycle newspapers. Hang pictures in a snap. Bundle appliances super tight for easy storage. Protect little ones from dangerous places. Secure skis and luggage to your car for safe travel and more. Its unique handy grip handle and compact size goes anywhere, even hard to reach places. Use it outdoors to support plants, train your vines, control the garden hose. No more sticky tape. Keep one at the office to make mailing packages a breeze. Organize computer cables with ease. The Euro Wrapper is great for camping and sports, ideal for crafts and hobbies, and the ultimate tool for holidays. In fact, it's so amazing, it was awarded internationally the best invention of the year. Call now, and on this limited time offer, you get the Euro Wrapper, over 50 feet of durable nylon strapping, and 100 locking clips, all for only $19.95. We guarantee it's the best tool you've ever used or your money back. If you're ready for the best, put Euro Wrapper to the test. It's the fastest tool you'll ever use. Not available in stores, so call now.
To order the Euro Wrapper for only $19.95 plus shipping, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-242-1010. Or send check or money order to Euro Wrapper, 1616 Duke Street, Laureldale, Pennsylvania. That number again is 1-800-242-1010. Call and order your Euro Wrapper today. Sorry, no CODs.
Well, there have been a couple attempts at slide tackles, a couple of fouls whistled, but most importantly, there have been 6 goals so far in the first 45 minutes of this World All-Star game.
Well, my prediction of 5-4, 6-5 might come through. But the first goal, oddly enough, came from a mistake at the back. The only mistake that Maybet has made, looking to make this loose pass that goes right to Mario Lacatouche, and he buries it at the far post, and that was a first-minute goal and a 1-0 lead for the Europeans.
But then it was all-world, all-star team, and it all flowed through Ronaldo.
Well, Ronaldo just spooning this one through to Diavola, the shortest man in the park, and maybe the shortest man in the city. And he just picks his corner, keeps his composure, and that tied it up at 1 apiece.
It continued with Ronaldo again on the attack.
Ronaldo this time with a great goal because of a terrific first move with a defender, opening up some space and then using the space to find the far post. Great little fake there, froze the defender, Yero, who almost twists himself into the ground. And then, of course, he puts it where he has to at the far post.
Then he was handing out, assisting.
Another great little pass from him, scooping it through to Batistuta. And no mistake by Batigol.
Well, we've had 6 tallies. It is 5-1, the world on top. We've got 45 minutes of all-star soccer and then the draw. So much to come.
Welcome to La Campana.
Save. Hi, I'm Carol from Joe Cotton Ford on North Avenue in Carroll Stream. All month long, don't miss our one low price sale on all new Ford trucks and vans. New 98 Explorers are here and available for one low price of just $19,495. Need a pickup? New Ford Rangers are available for one low price of just $87.99. It's the no-hassle way to buy today. How about a new 98 Windstar with one low price of $17,450? Safety, savings, and selection with no haggling necessary. Only at Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
It's cable. It's cable. It's cable, you idiot!
This Monday, Miles Simon powers the explosive Wildcats into Texas for a battle with Big Bear Brian Skinner. Arizona Baylor, Monday night at 7, only on ESPN2.
Welcome to the Naismith House.
Soccer is your birthright. Your country was the first to win a World Cup. Your country was the first to win a gold medal. Soccer is your birthright. The world title is yours to lose. I want to wake up as an old lady and watch us defend our 10th World Cup.
ESPN2's presentation of the 1998 FIFA World All-Star Game is brought to you by MasterCard. MasterCard, the official card of U.S. Soccer, Youth Soccer, and World Cup '98. Well, the fun will continue for another 45 minutes in front of 40,000 here at Le Stade Velodrome in Marseille, and we will have wholesale substitutions. Both sides will change keepers. Frode Grodås of Norway, who plays for Chelsea, will come on for Europe. Ruben Ruiz will come on for the world team. He's the Paraguayan keeper who backs up José Luis Chilavert. And we'll pick up some other substitutions as we go along. We will see Eric Ronaldo is in the match, just walking past the center circle, so number 16 in blue. And he will have his chance to play with Ronaldo, and he talked about it yesterday, what a kick that would be. Ruiz Diaz and Eric Ronaldo in the match for Les États-Unis, the United States, chatting there with Marcelino Bernal.
You're getting pretty good at this stuff, Bob.
Well, I'm hanging with you, so I've learned a petit peu. And we are set to go, and we'll pick up more substitutions as we go. Number 16 there is a substitute, Gordon Dury of Scotland.
Well, you want to be sure you order the right food, Bob. That's all I'm concerned about for you in Marseille.
And you cannot get a bad meal in this town. Ronaldo ahead looking for Batistuta. And there is Stefan Kolding. Søren Kolding, number 3 of Denmark, got the touch. Naethi, number 14 of South Africa, moves in on Pfeifenberger. And now Balikov. And Europe now down by 4 goals. Lakatush for number 14, who's into the match now. Slavica Jokanovic, number 14 in white, a Yugoslav international.
And he's moved into the midfield, and they're trying to get Zidane a bit more forward, along with Boksic. They're the twin strikers at the moment.
The Dane Kolding, number 3. Dury, who is the 3rd different Scottish player to be nominated for this match. Gary McAllister, badly injured Saturday in Premiership play in England for Coventry City against Casey Keller's Leicester side, and his World Cup future isn't down for next summer. So Dury is on now. There's Pfeifenberger, number 2 from Austria. Balikov from Bulgaria. Watched by Ronaldo, he was momentarily. Jovanovic, number 14. Zidane, number 10. Through ball. Gobbled up by Grodås of Norway. Well, through the cafes of the Vieux Port of Marseille, the old port of town, you hear a lot of soccer talk in a babble of different tongues these last several days over the quiet hush of good meals. It has been that kind of a week. It all comes down to crunch time. That's the draw after the second half. Kolding from Denmark. You saw him in U.S. Cup back in January against the United States. Tried to get it to Zidane, but a goal kick. And the French fans would love to see that man score on that keeper.
Well, that's the keeper we just saw, Ruiz Diaz. Let's see if this was a goal kick. Well, it seems to be. Ruiz Diaz, you mentioned, from Paraguay. Played behind Chilavert. They lost the 3 matches in the World Cup qualifying that he played, but it wasn't really his fault. He's quite a good goalkeeper, playing in Monterrey, Mexico.
Nakata from Japan, the number 7 player in blue for the World All-Stars. Ronaldo still in the match, to the delight, I would think, of billions literally watching around the world. Well, Salimi back there for the number 5 player, Nebet.
And you mentioned that Ronaldo has come in, and Diavila has gone to the bench. So one MLS player replaces another.
Ronaldo playing the wide right position as a forward, or an advanced midfielder at this moment, as Bernal gets the touch to Naethi. And this aggregation of blue-clad World All-Stars just trying to feel each other out and get together as a team. Not everyone trained yesterday by any stretch of the imagination. Naethi, touched there by Salimi, number 8. But Europe back on it. Balikov, watched from behind there by Nakata. Paul Ince, Alessandro Costa Curta, and Jovanovic of Yugoslavia. Holding that it was into touch. The flag was up, and so a throw-in now.
Holding playing wide out here on the left. Ince has gone into the back 4.
Holding
for the
plays,
Europeans.
Pardon me, I was going to say Holding plays professionally for a team Brad Friedel used to play with, Brøndby in the Danish Superliga. Bernal is there. Well, thought about, goes across his goal mouth dangerously. I guess you can do that tonight. Naethi bottled up, nowhere to go against Boskic, and now the corner kick.
Well, Boksic, even though it's not a competitive game, is not about to let a defender get out of trouble. Here's a quick corner.
Zidane. Lakatos, who had the first goal of the match. Pfeifenberger tried to touch it inside. Balikov is on it. Boksic, Alan Boksic. Bernal puts it in over the byline for the corner kick. Marcelino Bernal. Well, questions for Mexico. Will they go with young new players, or will they stay with the veterans under a new coach now?
Well, here's a veteran, and Bernal and Boksic have, if you can say anybody's been mixing it up a little bit tonight, it's been these two.
Off the corner kick, headed out by Hierro. Batistuta gets ahead. Ronaldo still awaiting his first touch on the ball in this World All-Star match. Save there. Off the shot by Boksic. Carlos Alberto Pereira to the right side. Will he coach Saudi Arabia? Will he stay with Metro Stars? There's talk he might accept the Saudi job and run it from afar until it's time for the World Cup. The United States Federation talking about possibly hiring a technical director to take over matters assigned from the U.S. men's national team.
That's very much an open question at this point. It's got some pluses. It has some minuses for the head coach as to how secure or confident he feels about his position, his decisions.
And the U.S. Federation has talked with Carlos Queiroz, former coach of Metro Stars, the Portuguese coach who's now with Nagoya in the J-League. They've had those beginnings of conversation. That ball is onside. Zidane over the top.
What a good run by Zidane to get around the back. And the ball catches him beautifully. He makes a pretty good trap of a difficult ball. And now he's obviously going to try to whack it up high near post. Not a bad target area.
Right into the lens.
Always a good idea if you're going to go near post to try to go high. Difficult for the keeper to make a fast reaction high. If it's up in that upper corner.
Well, we had scoring in the first minute of the first half, but it's been an unsettled second half so far in a 5-1 match, and now the foul whistle and the free kick for Europe.
Foul by Ronaldo on Balikov, or Lakatos rather.
That touch into the box, but Ruiz is there. Ruiz Diaz and Hierro up the wing for Europe. Up for the world side, Nakata. Bernal now comes inside to Salimi. Ronaldo. Here's Europe now with a Balikov touch. Back to Lakatos. Krasimir Balikov, number 7. Lakatos with Pfeifenberger to his right, but he's coming inside. Boskic save Ruiz. Zidane now, the captain for Europe. To Balikov on his left foot. Loves to shoot with it. And Bernal
Bernal is playing a very good defensive game. You talked about whether he might be over the hill. There you see him. He's 34 years old. He's a tough, tenacious defensive midfielder playing in the back four tonight.
Zidane deflected to the 6. And the whistle and the foul. Of course, the new coach Lapuente hired for Mexico. Bora Milutinovic was fired. As we mentioned during the first half, Bora is in town. It's virtually impossible to stage a major soccer event anywhere on this planet and Bora Milutinovic not be in attendance.
Well, there's a question if it's possible to stage an event of any kind in this planet. Bora shows up in some unexpected places. But he was, we saw him 2 days ago. And obviously bitterly disappointed about what happened in Mexico, although not showing it publicly.
Lakatus for Boxic. Nice play there by Soren Kolding. I beg your pardon, by Javier Margas.
Yeah, Javier Margas in your picture there, making a good tackle. He's a central defender for Chile, and central defenders for Chile won't get all the attention that the front players will, Zamorano and Salas, but they're going to be very important to Chile's hopes this summer.
Balakov on the corner. Punched out by Ruiz. Right back to Balakov. To the 6, Bernal. A stalwart defensively tonight. Collected by Batistuta. But now Europe with a better flow of play here in the second half. Dury of Scotland, number 16. The Dane Kolding with a ball. Naethi puts it out with his head. Hong, number 2 of Korea.
The game is much more compact, Bob. It's one obvious difference in this half already. See how close players are together. There's not this kind of counter-attacking possibility because there is some defense now going on in midfield.
Ronaldo now in the midfield pulling ahead, looking for Hierro. Eric Ronaldo wide on the left as Ronaldo came up the middle.
Yeah, Eric Ronaldo's got out to the left side now, and he's found some spaces, but they have yet to find him. With a good pass.
Balakov with another good long ball. Chased down by Pfeifenberger. The Austrian defender, former center forward. Sent back to the 6 and headed by Bernal back to his keeper. Marcelino Bernal is impressing.
He is indeed. He is having a very good game. Again, to keep emphasizing that the pressure here on players is not so great. Although it certainly is on the Europeans now to stop the rot a bit, because 4-goal deficit after 45 minutes is indeed embarrassing.
In the 56th minute of a 5-1 match at Le Stade de Vélodrome in Marseille. With the draw to follow and the U.S. to be placed into a pot along with Mexico and Jamaica and the 5 African qualifiers. There are 8 seeded teams. We'll run down the entire way the draw will be conducted, and some of it in French, some of it in English, and we'll, of course, bring you the entire draw, all 32 teams, 8 groups of 4, and set the stage for the biggest single sporting event in a sport, the World Cup next summer. Lakatus with Zidane in front of him, through ball for Zidane. In the box, taken down. Corner kick.
Yeah, no penalty given there. The hometown hero trying to win something out of this, but I'm not so sure he didn't stumble rather than get hit. As you see the challenge coming in there. I might have stepped on his side of his foot, though, as you see the replay.
Lakatus on the corner. Brought down by Cellini, but Zidane wins the ball. Lakatus with a cross. Holding runs onto it. Low shot! Off the side netting.
Nicely set up there, indeed, for Kolding. And he just whacks a terrific volley. Hierro ducks his head out of the way. I don't think he would do that this summer, because that could have sneaked in at the post.
Well, discretion is the better part of an all-star match.
Yes, I think certainly an axiom for our time and our particular event here.
Batistuta. Paul Ince. Now Europe in attack, trailing by 4 goals. Boxic with Kolding behind him on the wing. Will he use him? Yes, he will. Tries to return it. And the world has it back. Gabriel Batistuta with Ronaldo to the left. He's got Eric Ronaldo ahead of him on the left side. With Ronaldo of Brazil, Batistuta, they've worked so well tonight. There's Hong on the overlap now. Sends it in low and easily picked out.
Well, tough time for Eric Ronaldo here to be on the same field in many ways as Ronaldo and Batistuta, because they're looking to play cute 1-2s with each other. And why not? They don't get this opportunity very often, whereas Eric is doing all the hard running on the far side and not seeing the ball.
Would that be because he's an American?
Well, I wouldn't rush to say that, but...
and what about in 10 minutes when I ask you that question?
But there's no question that if you're Ronaldo and your option is Batistuta or Ronaldo, I think you know which way you go.
On with a touch to break it up. Jovanovic, number 14, got a touch. Now he's back on it. Balikov from Stuttgart. A leisurely game now at 5-1. And around the world, folks pulling out their draw sheets. These 40,000 folks say, hey, we saw the first half. We want more. Nayati of South Africa, but now Europe back on it. Lakatos. Bernal with a touch, though.
It's almost as though there's a sort of an agreement of the two teams to sort of stop the run and gun stuff.
Offside as Zidane was ahead of that touch. We are live at Le Stade Velodrome in Marseille. The World All-Star match to be followed by the final draw for World Cup 98. Along with Seamus Mallet, I'm Bob Lee, live on ESPN2. Nightfall on Marseille. Franz Beckenbauer, silver-haired, still distinguished. And you remember him domestically with Cosmos in North American Soccer League, a manager who won the World Cup, a player who won the World Cup, and still one of the great figures in this sport. Ronaldo with Batistuta again, through ball. Eric Ronaldo, save. Well, he got his pass and his opportunity, but was denied.
Oh, good save by Grotas, but a nice ball once again served through by you-know-who, Ronaldo, and that's one that Eric has been waiting for, and he could not quite tuck it in the corner.
Now Balikov coming through with Boksic with him. Can holding control that ball. Almost a scrum for it at the 18. Zidane. What can he do? Zidane. Deflection. Le Bout, the goal for the Frenchman. And so the national hero has delivered.
Well, he keeps very calm here as the keeper comes out. He waits, he commits the keeper down, and then he opens up a space for himself. But what a narrow angle, and eventually he manages to crash it in off a lunging defender from the tightest of angles. Good piece of finishing by Zidane. After we saw at the other end, not so great piece of finishing attempt by Ronaldo.
And substitutions during the flow of play. Ronaldo comes on. Dion Burton, virtually his lookalike, comes on. In fact, Dion has been nicknamed Ronaldo. Batistuta is coming off the pitch. And Hussein Suleimani, number 13 of Saudi Arabia, will come on. So Dion Burton is on. Brazil's World Tour continues Sunday at noon on ESPN2. The world champs are in Johannesburg, to take on South Africa. And what an event that will be. Brazil touring the world, and South Africa thrilling the world with the way that they have qualified. Ronaldo, I think that's a full night's work. I believe they got their money's worth out of him tonight.
I think so.
And his lookalike, Dion Burton, and Eric and Dion, who remember that night at RFK Stadium when Burton pounced on the back pass?
Well, you could. I think the two of them were joking, saying, all right, now you're really in trouble. Those guys have gone. Just watch us go here in Europe.
Well,
but it's good chance for Dion and Eric to get a little bit more of the ball. Everything otherwise goes through Ronaldo, and you don't see it too much.
Soren Colding to Dury of Scotland, number 16. Colding with a little bit of room here. Dury's touch. Balikov. Back heel. Jovanovic. Nayati brings it down. David Nayati of South Africa gets it away from Boksic very neatly up the far wing and past Pfeifenberger. 13, Suleimani, the youngest player in this match at the age of 20. The number 13 player in blue. Eric Winalda of the United States. Nakata of Japan. Watched by Costa Curta. And we play on.
All the players you see crowded into midfield there. That was not a function in the first half. They were spread out all over the pitch, but now playing a little bit more compact soccer, more of the kind of soccer we're used to seeing, when things are far more competitive.
5-2. It's a bit more competitive since Zidane has put a ball in the net. So get your draw sheets ready after the match. They'll be drawn out of the 4 large hats, the 8 seeds, and the other 24 nations. For France, 98. Naefi now on the overlap with the ball for Dion Burton, who just missed the near post.
Well, he didn't miss against the U.S. with a chance like that, or maybe not quite as difficult as that one, but he ran through on it beautifully. But what a great overlapping run from the back from Naefi, and then a good serve through, and he has to stretch a little bit, but he got the near post open. Terrific power from Dion.
Ronaldo get a little bit of sustenance on the bench, and also sign an autograph. He was signing autographs as he came out for the second half from photographers, security guards. He is the, we said, transcendent player on the planet right now in this sport, and this tournament next summer will be his stage along with the rest of his Brazilian mates. And also a little bit later on, as we bring you the draw, we'll have a great opportunity to show you what football, soccer means to the people of Brazil. Zidane of France, the number 10, the captain. Pfeifenberger, picked up by Naefi with the cross. Margas got the head to it, but not cleared. Finally, Naefi clears it. Jokanovic. Now Dury from Scotland. Lakatos from Romania lifts it in. And a nice play by Margas.
He's impressed me, Javier Margas, for Chile. Boksic getting a bit of a bump on the head there as he went through. But I like very much what I've seen from Margas.
Used to play with America in Mexico, and now playing with Universidad Católica, the Catholic University side in Chile, and they have a comfortable lead over Colo-Colo. Here's your Chilean First Division update tonight. Dion Burton. Dion Burton onto his right foot. Winalda with a touch into the box. Winalda in front, couldn't get to it, is pounced upon.
Good touch into the box though by Eric. Might have had a chance to shoot there, but he saw somebody wide open in front and pushed it through to him. Now we're back a little bit to the old first half run and gun stuff.
Well, they put the clutch in, and we've moved it up a few notches. Belikov against Hahn. Touched down by Margas and now lifted out. Suleimani of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Eric Winalda of the United States, number 16. Marcelino Bernal of Mexico, number 6. Dion Burton, the Reggae Boys of Jamaica. What a marvelous story. If there's any justice, they'll be drawn in with Italy, whose coach Cesare Maldini outspoken about Jamaica taking up a spot that they had to play for in a playoff against Russia. Costa Curta is there defensively. Back to Frode Grodas, the Norwegian keeper, who plays with Chelsea.
Yeah, the geography certainly of the game these days is totally out the window. Players from countries certainly are in no way confined anymore to thinking within their own boundaries in terms of making their money and making their livelihood.
Especially since the Berlin Wall came down and the geopolitics of the globe changed in 1989. There's one German team. You see Bulgarians playing all over Western Europe.
Now, it used to be that the World Cup was a chance to showcase your talent and maybe get out from some of those tough situations, but that's all changed.
Suleimani for Naefi, the South African, on the overlap against Lagadush. Whistling it high and wide. João Havelange, the gentleman in the front row in the middle, the president of FIFA Outgoing, and the great parlor game in world soccer. Who shall succeed this man who has been around so powerful for so long, and who will preside over another World Cup draw that the second in a row will not include his countryman Pelé? Zinedine Zidane, number 10 of France. He has 1 goal.
Well, the rumors are even in the French papers as of this morning saying that Sepp Blatter will succeed him, which, of course, Blatter has denied over and over again any interest in.
I will not be a candidate. Holding's heavy shot put wide by Ruiz Diaz. Well, the politics of FIFA overlaying at times the play of soccer on the pitch.
Difficult ball in there for Ruiz Diaz. Did the right thing, though. Didn't try to hold on to it, just to touch it away. Concede the corner.
Lakatouche with a low one. Myung Bo Hong took it down. Now the world side with the comfortable lead, but no goals in the second half to their credit this side. Ruiz Diaz pulls it down away from Zidane. Outlets quickly. Eric Winalda with Nakata to his inside. Winalda. Finally, Costa Curta got in the way of that one. Winalda back on it in the box, though. Winalda with a cross, looking over the head of Burton.
Good work by Eric Winalda, though, showing a little bit of his dribbling skills first, then running out of it and getting it back. And the cross just a bit off the mark when he had retrieved it nicely.
Austria's Pfeifenberger makes an overlapping run, gives up the ball, and continues up the right wing, which is your right if you're a defender on this All-Star night. The Dane Polding, Dury of Scotland. That ball was into touch. And so the throw-in right after this match, the World Cup draw. 12:30 Eastern Time, U.S., 9:30 Pacific Time on ESPN2. That is the true drama. That is the real news of this day in Marseille, the World Cup draw. And it is a Russian roulette. There's a stage at one end of the stadium that will happen outside under the stars with 40,000 in attendance and all the world's press. Lakatouche of Romania, number 13. Balakov moves in on Bernal. Balakov. Zidane. Tried the lob.
Well, if the other team was looking for Romario, certainly the Europeans are looking for Zidane a lot up front. He's gone clearly out of midfield into one of those front-running positions, and having gotten 1 goal back, if they're going to get to the predicted scoreline of 5-4, they got to get him the ball a little bit more.
Well, whose prediction was that scoreline? Suleimani was on that ball, number 13. The youngest player, as we said, started all but one of the World Cup qualifiers, Costa Curta, the veteran of the Azzurri. Eric Winalda now. Back to Bernal. We've seen each other so many times over the years, the U.S. and Mexico. Into the box, saved by Rodas, the Norwegian keeper, on the attempt by Suleimani, Hussein Suleimani.
And, of course, Dion Burton wide open in front. Doesn't say anything because it's a friendly match, but had it been anything but that, he would have been all over Suleimani for not giving him a ball that would have been an easy goal.
Dury's ball for Balakov, along with Margas, watching defensively. Will he play for the corner? Here comes Nakata to help out. And the Japanese player gets a touch in, and the Chilean comes away with the ball, lifting it ahead. 73rd minute at the Stade de Velodrome in Marseille on ESPN2. And now the free kick for the world side. Bernal. Adel Salimi of Tunisia. Moving in against Pfeifenberger, who fends him off, wins the ball.
Good defense by Pfeifenberger, though, not allowing himself to be pushed off the ball. A very strong player.
Bernal. There's Eric Winalda. Tried the through ball, gets it back. Nice control. Still on it. But finally, she'll get Djokanovic of Yugoslavia won the ball. Now this is Balikov. Keeper undecided what to do. And Ruiz Diaz gathers it in. Thought about coming out for it.
Thought about coming out for it, just maybe to slow down a onrushing attacker, and then just sort of himself back off and wait for it to roll into the penalty area.
5-2 match, and the anticipation growing of the draw following it. And if you joined us along the way, you missed a marvelous night for Ronaldo. For the world side, the cross inside put out by Holding. Loose at the 6, and indecision there on the back line of the European side.
Yeah, well, a little confusion there between an Italian central defender, an English central defender, and the Norwegian playing for Chelsea.
I got it, you take it. Zinedine Zidane with a goal with the player of the match. From Franz Beckenbauer's perspective, coaching the European side has been his South American counterpart, Ronaldo. And there's no tension on the benches. The only tension Franz Beckenbauer is feeling tonight is where will his German side be drawn. Their seeded side is a 3-time World Cup champion, one of the 8 seeds. They'll be the first teams out of the bowl. Dion Burton of Jamaica with a through ball, looking for Cellini. It falls to Curta. Back to his keeper.
Beckenbauer, too, probably equally thinking, maybe not tonight, but eventually after the weekend, about how Bayern Munich are going to start in the second half of the season for when that gets underway and later on. But Kaiserslautern doing so well.
Doing what no team has ever done.
Yeah, coming from a promotion from the second division to first place in the Bundesliga first division.
The Autumn Championship, as it's called in Germany. Holding. The Danish defender moves in, gets it back from Balikov, trying to tee up the shot. Lakatouche with a lead. Zidane is denied. With Ruiz Diaz right there, the Paraguayan keeper, the French attacker. And Carlos Alberto Pereira, conversant in so many different languages.
Can be very interesting to see what comes out of this weekend for him. Does he go to the Saudi Arabian opportunity or not?
Soleimani, and it's tackled away by Costa Curta. Pace again slowing down. We had a spurt of end-to-end, but as Paul Ince is on the ball, not as much, certainly, in this half as in the first half, when Batistuta and Ronaldo, and to an extent also Anthony Diavola, just put on a show, especially Ronaldo. Holding, Zidane, Zinedine Zidane, a native of Marseille. Now Dion Burton. One of the 4 Beatles, the British natives, playing under the Jamaican flag. Now Eric Winalda looking for Burton in front, who brings it down and is saved by Brodas. Burton's had his chances tonight.
Certainly has. That was a terrific pass in there from Winalda. Right to his chest, and he lets it bounce a couple of times before getting the volley off, but that was unfortunately enough time for the keeper to come and make the block, and it caroms off him and goes out for a goal kick. Interesting that you can see the World All-Stars are in the blue shirts, so many of them retreating now defensively, whereas the first half it was 3, 4, 5 people back against a 4-man counter-attacking group, but now they're sort of shutting down some of the passing alleys, maybe taking a little bit of the pace out of the game, and as professional players will do in an exhibition match, that's what's on order for them with a lot of weekend activity coming up in the leagues.
Burton's ball, looking for Soleimani. It all began with Ronaldo's ball out of the back, and the throw-in. 78th minute in Marseille on a chilly evening with the intrigue about to heat up. There's Ronaldo now on the right side with the ball to his left foot.
Well, he helped to play a little 1-2 there with Burton and get the ball back, but he hit it just past his toe, or else Dion wasn't expecting it.
Djokanovic, number 14, playing it wide. Alen Baksic from Lazio. The Croatian lifts it in. And the Korean Hong, number 2, puts it out. Kolding to Dane. Gets it back. Soren Kolding. The cross in front. Denied by the defense.
Balakov there looked like he had number 3 all lined up, but the defense covered up beautifully behind the committed Ruiz Diaz.
And that was, I believe, Bernal with the save. Well, again, Marcelino playing well. Kolding again to the edge of the box. Boxic slips it inside, but nobody made a run. Zidane on the right side says, I should have done it.
And Boxic is probably saying, I should have shot. I think he should have done. He had turned nicely. He had fooled a defender and got a little bit of space, but he tried to do the more delicate through pass, and it didn't come off.
Now, the outcome of this match, I would say, is not in doubt, since it was a 5-1 at halftime, but the real doubt tonight, what the groups will be. Will there be a group of death? There's always traditionally a group, a self-appointed group of death in a World Cup. The group that is just judged to be so difficult. To emerge will be miraculous.
Yeah, it's going to be some very interesting things come out of the hat. They've already separated teams by continent, so I don't have that artificial worry that they very often do when they pull a hat out and name out and say, oh, can't put them in that group. There's already somebody from that part of the world there. It's already taken care of pretty much this time.
That's how the U.S. suddenly ended up with Colombia on its plate last time at the draw. All very proper, but a bit confusing at the moment. Nayeti of South Africa. Right on.
Well, Nayeti that time looking for Eric Winalda, who had made a nice run around the back of the right side here. Getting away from Kolding, the number 3 player, who's a defender who's been up shooting on goal most of the time, or trying to help Zidane get some shots.
Pfeifenberger. Zidane to Pfeifenberger. Watched by Nayeti. And a throw-in. Taken immediately by Pfeifenberger. For Balakov, who's played the full 90 tonight, or so far. Scoring it off to Kolding, who was calling for it. Slips inside, getting past Nakata. Dury of Scotland. And saved by the ever-present Margus. No, it was not. It'll be a corner kick. Touched quickly. Balakov on the touch by Kolding. Waits for everyone to get onside.
Well, he is a tough guy to dispossess, Balakov. Very strong, great skills.
Hollins puts it wide. Balakov now. With Zidane in the box. Goes top of the arc. Jovanovic tried it inside. Nayeti broke it up. Some delicate one-touching there, and finally belted out with authority by Suleimani. Pfeifenberger for Boxic. Nakata, tough customer. The Japanese midfielder takes it away. But now Europe back on it. Zidane. One too many touches. Now Nakata puts it wide. And a reminder down the road for Major League Soccer's All-Star Weekend from Disney's Wide World of Sports Complex beginning July 30th. The entire weekend, including the All-Star Game and all the festivities on ABC and ESPN2.
Well, Gordon Dury finally deciding that somebody needs to shoot on goal here. And of course, he did that for Scotland recently. Got the second goal in their 2-0 win that they needed against Latvia to assure themselves of the best second-place record in the European groups, and therefore to get an automatic berth without having to play a playoff the way Italy did, and Croatia, Belgium, and Yugoslavia.
Javier Margot's number 3. So the pace is certainly dwindled down now. Nakata with a touch in a 5-2 match. And the chief spark plugs on the bench in the person of Ronaldo. But there is Boxic. Boxic. Balakov touched just wide by Balakov.
Offside, too. Well, some nice intricate passing there. Well, once again, you got to wonder if a more direct route would have been appropriate. But heck, you know, it's all fun this evening. But The ball pushed in there by Lakatouche, and very definitely the front player offside.
Well, the next time these players meet on a stage approaching this, Zinedine Zidane and his French mates will be host to this World Cup 98. The United States has a very ambitious program of friendlies, a month-long camp to be held. And then friendlies beginning late January, a trip to Europe. U.S. Cup possibly will be the send-off for the U.S. team in late May or early May. And the U.S. team will base themselves initially in the city of Lyon. Paul Ince, back from a recent suspension in the Premiership. Eifenberger moves up. Salimi watching him. Zidane, the hometown hero, with a cross pulled down by Ruiz Diaz. And the Paraguayan with the save.
Well, Olympique Marseille fans can't complain about his not getting the ball enough. He certainly has gotten the ball quite a bit. See Eric Ronaldo getting the ball out here on the right, opening up nicely, filling in behind Colding, as I mentioned, the number 3 defender who goes forward so much for the European side. He opens up the space in midfield for a smart attacker to run into.
Dury. Gordon Dury squares it off to the European side. And what has been an exhibition with all the real fireworks of the first half. Now the news fireworks, the event, is the draw to follow. And they'll set the stage up at that end of the pitch. And then the world will hold its breath. Zidane, that's onside. The cross. Right at the 6, picked off. Soleimani still on the ball. This is Salimi laying it back. Soleimani, the Saudi pro. Salimi, Morocco, Tunisia, I beg your pardon, and Soleimani missing at the post. Hussein Soleimani.
Well, a great chance there. Too bad. It would have been nice to see a goal by a player who's not exactly a household name, or a country that's not real famous in the game, as we've seen some great goals coming in from the Ronaldos and Batistutas and so forth, Colombia, and the Avila. Well, there was a great chance to get his name in the score sheet and make it 6-2, but we're winding down the last few minutes now, about 5 minutes or so, 4 minutes to go.
When you see Soleimani on the attack like that, you think back to the attractive style that the Saudis played in '94. You think back to a friendly they played against the United States where they took a 3-0 lead. And then click on there. Ruiz Diaz comes off to pull it down with Zidane in front on the flick on by Boksic.
Well, they were within a few minutes of actually what could have been a group victory for them. Well, they lost the game to Holland in the last minute through a goalkeeper mistake. If they'd not done that, they could have won that group.
Dion Burton, he's got Ronaldo making a run to his left of the box. Dion Burton of Jamaica. Save there on the shot by Hussein Soleimani. 2 attempts on goal. And the Saudis have put a lot of money. They've invested a lot of time. They've imported a lot of international experience. And they basically set up a Saudi Pro League. Most of the players, if not all, stay at home. That's an offside ball.
And, of course, they did arguably contribute the goal of the World Cup.
Saeed Owairan against Belgium at RFK Stadium.
Stunning goal. A tremendous slalom ride through midfield and down into the penalty area, and then that volley into the roof of the net. Amazing goal.
And they did not go gently against Sweden in the second round, a match played in Dallas. So the Saudis have the ability, and they have some pedigree now at this level of soccer. Where will they be drawn? Zidane touches it on. Boksic not able to get the shot off.
Of course, those two guys played together at Juventus. Not anymore, though. It's this man is Lazio bound, or is Lazio employed at the moment.
Well, the World All-Star Game is the appetizer and the main course ready to be brought from this French kitchen to your table, which is the World Cup final draw, the tirage au sort, as they say. And the U.S. will learn its opponents, and it is very much Russian roulette near handball at midfield that we simply play on tonight. Offside. Actually, a foul behind the play.
Yeah. Paul Ince with one final whack at somebody as he came in late. And Sullivan. Paul Ince, of course, will be going off to a terrifically important match this weekend at 11:15 in the morning on Saturday. They play Manchester United in Liverpool.
And full time by negotiation interfered at midfield. Our referee Gilles Vissière of France has whistled the World Cup All-Star match to a conclusion. The rest of the world defeating Europe 5-2. Ronaldo, with the pressure of next summer on him, can look back finally, I guess, on this night as a night when he gave the world a bit of a taste.
Well, it's a great idea to have a match here for the draw, and you might say that they each won a half. I mean, clearly the rest of the world ran away with the first half, and the Europeans won the second half with a slightly different, quite a different lineup and a very different style of play. But it was a treat indeed to see some terrific players, including this man, Zinedine Zidane, getting around the defense and then just sort of cracking it in off a defender lurking near the post. And this man, of course, doing all the show. And you could dive every which way you possibly can, but there was just no way to stop Ronaldo. Had a terrific opportunity several times. And this goal, I think, was really the goal of the match in the sense that he put a great fake on and then just buried it. All strikers must do in the far corner.
The draw is next. So much more to come, including the best goals of qualification.
Make your racing fantasy come alive at Green Flag Racing in Glendale Heights. We have NASCAR, NHRA, and IndyCar gifts for fans of all ages. Stop in to see our wide range of die-cast cars and trucks and authentic race souvenirs. After race day, get 10% off the winning driver's product. Green Flag Racing, located just north of North Avenue on Bloomingdale Road, where all your racing dreams can come true. Well, almost all your dreams.
If you gotta send a package and it's gotta get there quick, it's Pack and Send. Pack and Send. If you're packing up and moving and you wanna do it slick, it's Pack and Send. Pack and Send. For the boxes and the shipping, any number, any size, they can handle all your packing. You just won't believe your eyes. It's Pack and Send. Pack and Send. Pack and Send. Pack and Send. Pack and Send.
Pack and Send. 520 Wise Road in Schaumburg. Call 847-524-PACK and Send. That's 847-524-PACK.
A little easier.
You're the man, Bob.
Come on.
How'd you get in here?
Be a fan.
I am a fan.
Then you could win the ESPN Be a Fan Ultimate Road Trip presented by Bud Light. Log on to ESPN Sports Zone and predict who will win each of the Big Monday matchups.
Big Mondays!
You and a friend could hit the road for the ultimate road trip. Go to WAC, Big East, and Big 12 Conference Championship games.
Can I bring Bob?
And a friend.
Bob is my friend.
Hopefully, this man won't win the ESPN Be a Fan Ultimate Road Trip presented by Bud Light. Enter now.
That is the Fort St. Jean, constructed and under the leadership of Louis XIV. It guards the port, Marseille, but King Louis had the guns pointing inward towards the city of Marseille to keep an eye on the citizenry. They are beginning to construct now the stage. It'll take a little bit, but we have so much to share with you as we look towards the draw, including some of the best goals of qualification. Well, those goals got 32 teams here, and they await what will transpire on that stage at one end of the Stade de Velodrome here in Marseille. About 20 minutes away now we are from the World Cup final draw. Seamus Mallon, Bob Lee back live in Marseille, France, where 40,000 people will watch this live in literally billions around the world, and a lot of anticipation. The USA will find out its first three opponents in the first round of France 98. And there is a change. We touched on it several hours ago, and I think it's important now. We'll go through and reiterate why this is different this time. The automatic bids going to France and Brazil. There are 6 #1 seeds, but the most important fact, perhaps, Seamus, the geographic separation.
That's right. They're now going to put 3 other groups together based primarily on geography. The first one will be a European group of all the teams in Europe that were not in the seed of the 6. You see 6 #1 seed because they also are added to France and Brazil to make 8. But there will be, these are the #1 seeds. And you see Brazil and Argentina are the 2 from Latin America, and the rest are from Europe. And France and Brazil get in as automatic champs and hosts. But then we have Europe. And you see this is the second group. At the moment, second, just because we've shown it to you second, but not necessarily in the order it'll be drawn. We'll get to that later. 9 teams in this group, 1 too many. And stand by, because we'll be explaining to you how we get rid of one of the 9.
And then Asia and South America, the unseeded South American teams with the Saudis, the Japanese, the Iran side that got in last September, or last Saturday, I should say, and Paraguay, Colombia, and Chile. And then the United States knows that it's in a group in the pot for the draw, along with Mexico and Jamaica, and the African